Hello, and welcome to today's lecture on breathing. I want to start by having you take a second, close your eyes, clear your mind, and focus on your breath. Maybe shoot for a goal to achieve 4 seconds on your inhale and 4 seconds on your exhale. This will allow equal place for the benefits of both parts of the breath. While you're focusing on your breath, let's quickly talk about those two parts. The inhale brings in oxygen. Oxygen is necessary for chemical reactions needed for just about every part of your body. The inhale is also associated with triggering your fight, flight, or freeze response. It triggers more dopamine, adrenaline, epinephrine, and basically everything to make you more alert. It oxygenates your organs to be prepared to create ATP, or adenotriphosphate, or in other words, energy to begin performing tasks. The exhale is its complete opposite in every way. It has a yin and yang relationship one to another. The exhale releases CO2, or carbon dioxide. This excess carbon comes from, in the spirit of efficiency, whatever you use the least. This process becomes more efficient as you improve your metabolic function. If you don't use your muscles, it will pull from there. If you are more active, exercise, and weight train, it will pull from stored fat. Your exhale also emphasizes more your rest and digest function. When your breathing is balanced with equal inhale to exhale, it represents you are alert but not in fight or flight. You are perceiving the experience as a challenge and you are ready to meet the task. This is optimal for learning and growing. When these are not in harmony, that is feedback about your perception of your surroundings. If the inhale is greater than the exhale, that is feedback that you are in high alert, but you don't feel safe in your environment. This is usually associated with the fight, flight, or freeze response. In this case, your frontal cortex, the part of your brain that enables higher thinking and decision making, shuts down and problem solving becomes harder. In other words, your body will act out one of the 3 primitive responses. Let's do an activity to paint this picture. So for this activity, we're going to do a quad stretch. Now this is something that we do in our fitness standards, but for today, I want to do it more for the lesson to be learned to understand how we perceive stress and how we can use that feedback through our breathing. So we're going to get started. We're going to use a wall. You're just going to place your knee up against the wall, bring your foot out in front. And I want you to try to get your shoulder blades to come back and touch the wall. Now, I want you to push yourself so far that you can start to feel the exercise take your breath away. Now, if you can feel that and feel it when it gets to that point, that's feedback that you are no longer able to exhale. In other words, like we mentioned earlier in the lecture, that you are unable to be able to perceive the experience well, and you go into more fight or flight response. In other words, the fight would be you're trying to fight the exercise by having bad form, or you flight the exercise by trying to run away and escape and get out of the stretch because you don't want to do it anymore, right? And you'll feel that when you start to feel that your breath is being taken away because the stretch is so intense. Now, let's revisit the exercise. Let's get back to that stretch position. And I don't want you to go too intensely. I just want you to ease into it, but let breathing be your guide. So I want you to try to maintain an equal inhale to exhale. Okay, now as you slowly challenge yourself into the stretch, but let the breathing be your guide, where if you can feel that you are no longer able to maintain an equal inhale to exhale balance, then you know you've gone too far into the stretch and it's no longer going to serve you, which means injury rates increase when you are in your fight, flight, or freeze response. Now, increased injury is a good thing to understand for both physical pain as well as emotional pain and mental pain. When we perceive experiences well and we can maintain our breathing properly throughout an experience, you will find we'll be far less injured emotionally, physically, in every single way. Let's head back to the lecture to go over an experience that really paints this picture really well. In Doctrine and Covenants, section 121, we share a devastating experience with Joseph Smith as he is thrown unjustly in Liberty Jail. Joseph was in a cold, damp, underground cell with nothing but straw for a bed and a bucket to go to the bathroom. Meanwhile, the members of the church are being severely persecuted, being thrown from their homes and their belongings burned. In this section, you can hear Joseph's tone. He is no longer perceiving his experience well. However, Heavenly Father teaches him and us a valuable lesson about how to deal with stress. In verses 7 and 8, it reads, "My son, peace be unto thy soul. Thine adversity and thine afflictions shall be but just a small moment. And then, if thou endure it well, God shall exalt thee on high. Thou shalt triumph over all thy foes." There are two distinct blessings for us if we manage our stress. One, we will be exalted on high. I think that means that we will have a unique role as leaders in God's kingdom because of the empathy and character growth that was attained through our hardship. And two, He will bless us to overcome our foes. Now, I don't think that our foes are trying to tar and feather us, but maybe if you have test anxiety, your foe would be the test, in which case God will bless you with the ability to conquer your test anxiety and you will do well on your tests. Breathing is the key to unlocking this power. Take time to recognize your breathing throughout the day, especially in circumstances that feel particularly challenging and you feel you are not experiencing it well. Remember, God said all experiences will work out for our good. Trust in that promise as you heighten your awareness of your breathing. If the task seems too overwhelming to take on, remember, the first step is not to solve the problem, but simply master your breathing. This will get you out of fight or flight and enable you to tap into higher thinking. In those moments, you will have the inspiration you need. Use guided meditation as needed to help you as you are just starting out. I've linked an example of a guided meditation found on YouTube. You're welcome to explore the thousands of options available there. May God bless you as you strive to improve your breathing habits and help your body handle the stresses of life.